Hey guys, this is a new series I want to be doing based around the series of RWBY. And instead of just criticizing it, well, I'm going to do a lot of criticizing, but instead of just criticizing it, I want to talk about what I would have done to make this show better. And, how to, and with afterthought, obviously, how I would redesign these characters to make them better and make the show better and all that. Obviously, we're going to be starting with RWBY today, but I plan to do most characters in the series that are, somewhat prevalent, and just give everyone a little bit of love. And remember, I do like RWBY. Well, I know there's a lot of, what the fuck is going on behind me? Well, anyway, um, well, I know there's a lot of discourse between the community on that. I'm not picking a side. I'm just trying to say I love RWBY, and this is how I would have done it. And we're going to start that off with Ruby Rose. And this might, a lot of people will probably dispute this, but I think Ruby is actually a very good character. All, well, when you're considering everything about her. But she really fucking suffers from just really bad writing. Uh, and it's near Blake levels of bad writing. Um, she started the show as a clear, delightful main character who you could get behind, and I think that's what the show needs to maintain, what they really need to get back to, and I think that's going to be my first fix is to make sure that her make sure that her character is shown off. Make sure people know this is still Ruby Rose. This is how she is. Give her all her little traits back and let her from volume 1 to volume 9 to volume 51 make sure that she has her little traits and she's able to maintain who she is, unless that's actually like a story plot where she is not who she is. uh, I think her being Team Blacksmith and to show off the fact that she likes weapons would be a very cool thing. She did build her own weapon, so I think it would make a lot of sense if she was the one to repair them. And having her geek out over weaponry and people's semblances would be a great way to give you a fish out of water to like explain things to, because obviously you would have a lot of moments in the show where you have a semblance that's never shown, and people will actually ask the creators, "Hey, what's this person's semblance? You never showed it in the show, and they're now dead, you asshole." And it turns out Ironwood just had fucking weaponized autism. Great choice, great choice. Um, but I think a lot of her little details, her social awkwardness, all this should be addressed. Keep it, and let that be her character. Most main characters, you always have a character, like you have a character. There's something about that character that you always think of when you're describing a main character. You're able to describe them very well because they have a lot of very unique traits. Give Ruby back her unique traits because she is a fucking doll, and she needs them. She needs them. Second fix will actually to make her a secondary leader of the group. I know that's of the overall group, not Team RWBY. Team RWBY is still hers, and she she just shouldn't be the undisputed ruler of their entire group of Team Ranger, Team RWBY, Team whatever the fuck. She doesn't do great when she doesn't do great when she's put into situations where she's having to make a call for everyone, and a lot of those scenes are where people actually start to hate Ruby, and I think that's going to help everyone like her if she's never in those scenes to begin with. Um, and this could also help other characters. I will actually talk about those characters later in other videos dedicated to them or whatever. Uh, a lot of her really bad moments as a leader come from just really hypocritic scenes where she'll make a bad call and she'll get yelled at later in the episode when no one at the moment fucking went against her call. Like Yang can't bully her sister for making a bad decision when she didn't talk. She could have stopped the bad decision. Uh, to counter the idea that she's just the secondary leader, I believe she should be their main combat leader. Have her be the tactician of the group. Have her be making calls during a fight. So like Team Ranger is doing shit, and fucking Team Ruby is helping Team Ranger do a cool move. I think that would be really awesome. Obviously, battle anime. It's a lot of what people like about Ruby. In exchange for being a battlefield goddess, she now doesn't do the diplomatic shit. That's just easy, 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 easy. Um, it would align with her self-awkward original self. And when it comes down to who is doing that stuff, it should change. For Mistral, uh, it should be like she's voting with her group because that just kind of makes sense. If you're a leader who's not very good at being a leader, why wouldn't you have your entire team vote? You kind of get everyone's opinion. For Atlas, John by that point should be a really good leader. He's gotten a lot of experience, and it kind of fits with John's original character as well. Um, and then after that, it's kind of whoever. Yeah, for after Atlas, we don't really know anything, so it should just be whoever wants to be leader, or it should be whoever the writers think makes the most sense to be leader. It could be Ruby at that point. If that's the case, great. She probably deserves it by that point. Those two things, I believe, would really pull pressure off of Ruby's character, let her shine. She no longer does the things that make people hate her, and the things we love are on display like they should be. Her character development, like in the show, is going to be completely reactive still. It just kind of makes the most sense for her. It kind of you with a lot of Ruby characters, their possible storylines are very hard to decipher, are kind of hard to work with. So having Ruby be the reactive one in every scene makes a lot of sense. It kind of takes it, and you need less, uh, you need less screen time to make that work. She should be learning from what she encounters, from everyone she meets, and all that stuff. It would, in the end, you're still going to have a character who is completely different to what they started with, but you can still kind of see where they became who they are now. Um, a character who I think would be really impactful for Ruby and should get some love, and I definitely will be getting their own video, is Maria, the Grim Reaper. She should be a huge figure for Ruby. She should be like her master Roshi, her her main teacher. The teacher that Ruby falls in love with can really teach Ruby who she wants to be. Kind of similar to Crow, but not Crow because Crow has problems, and Crow's a bit more of a character. I mean, like a mentor. Um, and yeah, it'd be kind of like canon. Um, with Ruby just being the doll that's getting smashed into any scenario, but make those scenarios good. If the scenarios are good, the doll shines. If the scenarios are bad, the doll looks like crap. And those are kind of like the only things I have to talk about. But since she's the first character, I do want to talk about the rules for this series. And there will be some story changes to the overall structure of the show that just kind of helps me align with these characters. Helps my goal of making a improving the RWBY universe. I don't fucking know. If you like the video, give me an idea of what the hell you think of those is. Um, but yeah, story changes. First, this is something I think they should have done in the show to begin with. But all the arcs, Mistral, Veil, Atlas, all this should just be 4 seasons, not 3 seasons, and then a season to get to where you're going. The seasons where they are just kind of walking, like they're traveling, is really shit, and they don't do anything. So you shouldn't have a traveling season, especially as one of the traveling seasons. I believe it's the one before Atlas, but it's the traveling season between Atlas and Mistral was really fucking bad. It also kind of really, I believe, ruined Atlas in the eyes of Team RWBY. Like without that, I don't see the fucking reason why they'd be upset with Ironwood. Um, but yeah, everything, including the Fall of Beacon, should be season four. Should be 4 seasons. Season four being Fall of Beacon stuff. I don't really know. Immediate aftermath. You can do a lot of things with it. Um, every season after that uses the extra season to just add length to the story and make that story better. You know, you could do lore stuff. You can do a lot of stuff with that. You have an extra season, and that's at least 12 episodes, probably more. I don't really remember. I don't remember fucking RWBY's episodes. Like how many episodes in the season or volume? I don't fucking remember. Also, the books are going to be completely ignored. The books never happened because the books are awful. Those books are so fucking unless I bring them up, you can just throw them in the garbage bin. But the garbage bin where they belong. They don't do anything to the show. They're in a lot of cases they do really bad shit to the characters that are involved. You can just throw those out. Neo's is the only one I can forgive, as there's nothing to Neo. Like Neo didn't have anything to begin with, so they were working with a character that there was nothing for. But everyone else they did dirty. And lastly, and this is my most adamant one. I won't be making as many changes. I'll try not to make changes to the Beacon era of the story, as while there are a lot of issues with the show that comes from there, it's not fair to Monty or anything, because the show was completely different back then. Monty passed away. There's a lot about that era that all the issues that stem from it you can't really complain about, because I don't believe it's fair to complain about it, because just a lot of it you didn't get to see, or you didn't get to experience how it should have been experienced, and it was a web show, not an anime. So there's a lot to it that needs to be changed. But yeah, that's the episode. See you guys.